We're going to start up today with part 2 of the goalie story. So for just a little bit of context, I play on a couple of co-ed recreational adult hockey leagues. And for one of our teams, we had a consolation playoff game for our final game. We didn't do very well in the seeding for the regular season and didn't do well in the first playoff game. And so our second playoff game was a consolation game with one of the other teams that hadn't done so well in the division. And so the game didn't matter at all. And so me and the goalie decided we were going to switch places without telling anybody. We're going to show up real early to the locker room, switch bags, and just start getting ready and just, see how it goes. And I'm going to play goalie. I had played goalie maybe 2 or 3 times when I was like 12 years old when I used to play roller hockey, but had never played ice hockey goalie. And it had been well over 10 years since I had done roller hockey goalie when I was like 12 years old. So getting into the locker room, it was clear some of the people were not happy when they realized what was happening, including the coach, our captain of the team, David, who kind of handles all the organizing and kind of decides what lines of people are going out and playing for the game. Like, oh, you're playing forward, you're playing D and whatnot. He did not look happy. He did not look pleased. And apparently he told one of our other players after the game, or he told the goalie that I switched with after the game, that he was telling him, oh, well, I just would have liked to know and to ask the other players because they're paying too and blah, blah, blah. And David, the goalie I switched with, was just like, fuck him, I don't care. Like, it's the last game of the season. Like, we're playing one of the other worst teams. Like, who cares? I did feel a little bad at first, to be honest, when I realized that people were a little bit upset. But it just put more pressure on me to do well, because if I did well, then it would make up for all of it. It wouldn't matter. Yeah, a couple people didn't look happy, including the captain. But by the end of the first period, I come to the bench to get some water, and they had changed their tune completely. They were all like, oh, actually, this isn't too bad. You're doing all right. We were up 3-1 at the end of the first. We were down 5-3 after the end of the second. So I let him 4 goals on the other side of the rink. And then the third, we were down 5-3 going into the third. We scored one early, so it made it 4-5. And then we scored one more with like 5 minutes left in the third or so. So now we're tied up 5-5, and I am panicking at this point because, like, obviously I wanted us to tie it up. When we're down 1 or down 2, I'm like, oh guys, come on, get some offense going, tie it up and whatnot. But also it's a double-edged sword because I want them to tie it up, but also now all the pressure's on me. We have 5 minutes left in the game, and it would be absolutely tragic if I were to end this goalie, this one-time goalie experience with letting them score with like 1 minute left to win by 1. Like, it would be fine, but that'd be a super annoying way to have this end when like a win or a tie or something is so close. But I managed our team played really good D for those remaining 5 minutes. I don't think I faced really any shots at all or any good ones. They did have a breakaway with 20 seconds left in the third. Their best players coming in solo, 1v1 on me. And I'm backing in. He's kind of coming in the right side. And so he makes a move to the left, and I just go for the full-on dive poke check, just like full-on dive. And I managed to get him to go I forced him to go wide enough around the net that he maybe could have put it in the net a certain percentage of the time, but it was not an easy shot, and he ended up missing the net and putting the puck behind the net, and we ended up getting it out of there. So we went to a shootout, my first ever ice hockey goalie game ever. We went to a shootout. And we won. I was facing the first shot. I stopped it. I went for the diving poke check again, basically. The guy came in really slow, went for a move to the side, and I just went for the dive poke check and got him. Our first guy up on the shootout scores, and then the next guy comes in, and I do the same thing. He comes in real slow, tries to make a move to the other direction, because I think they could tell from the game that, like, I was okay facing the shot straight on, but, like, once you got me on the ground, it got me moving around. I was not very good. And so I think they were purposefully trying to make a move on me more than take a shot in the shootout. But he tries to, the next guy tries to make a move the other direction. I go for the diving poke check and stop him. And then our second guy goes up and scores, and we won in a shootout. And I was grinning ear to ear, man. Even now I'm smiling just thinking about it. It was so much fun. It was way more physically exhausting than I ever would have expected. Like, I knew it was going to be tiring. Like, I didn't think it was going to be a cakewalk, but I also didn't think it was going to be that hard. I mean, I normally play center. I'm skating up and down the rink as hard as I can all game, and the goalie, for the most part, I know he has to get up and down and he moves a little bit, but for the most part, he's standing there. And like, I know wearing a whole bunch of gear and stuff is a little bit harder, and you're going to get tired a little bit quicker, but I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near as exhausting as it was. I mean, by the end of the first, I was, and also as sweaty as it was, that gear is so sweaty. And I was thinking, like, as I'm putting on the gear and I'm in the locker room, I'm like, yeah, it's sweaty, but like I'm in the locker room. Like on the ice, it'll be better. But the problem is, even on the ice, it's not better because as a goalie, you're mostly standing still. I mean, you move a tiny bit around your net, but like for the most part, you're not moving. And that airflow when you're on the ice is what keeps you cool when you're a player, because you're suited up in thick layer of gear all around your body. So when you're moving on the ice as a player, that airflow keeps you cool, but as a goalie, it doesn't. And so you're just standing still in this sauna of gear, and the ice is doing nothing for you. And so I have to, like, but on stoppages of play, skate around like this as a goalie, trying to get as much airflow as I can because I'm absolutely melting. I think I sweated more by the end of the first playing goalie then, a couple days ago, than I normally do by the end of the third playing center, skating up and down the rink. And so it was a really fun experience. We're talking about already doing it again for our other team if we get a good opportunity with a game that doesn't matter. You know, maybe our seeding's already determined or it's a consolation playoff game in a similar scenario. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And they said I exceeded all expectations, which, you know, is just the cherry on top. You know, even if I would have done poorly, I think it would have still been fine and I still would have enjoyed the experience and whatnot. But winning in a shootout was a really fun way to have that happen. I did almost exactly like I thought I would. My skating is pretty decent, so even though I'm in a bunch of big bulky gear, I still could kind of skate around all right when I was on my feet. And I was all right with my glove, like my left side glove hand. I was pretty good. I was making some decent glove saves. It was the moving around on the ground that was killer, right? I'd be up there like this, you know, stick in this hand, glove in this hand like this, and then I'd drop down to my knees in the butterfly position where you've got your legs spread either way. And when you're down in that position, you're supposed to use like your skate blade to push off so that you can kind of slide on the ground while you're still in that butterfly position. But for me, it felt extremely unnatural to do that push-off move. Like everything felt natural, like backing up, getting position on the player, dropping into butterfly to make the save. But it was like you drop butterfly to make the save, then the puck would move to the other side of the net or something, and you'd need to like shift over. It was that shifting over when you're already on the ground. That push off just felt so unnatural, and I just basically couldn't do it. And so I'd make the drop, and then I'd just be like scrambling, just like just grabbing everything, grabbing the post and pulling myself over, doing anything I can to move over to that side of the net because I couldn't push off properly. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.